What if I told you there's a Japanese engine with oval pistons that has 32 valves and 8 spark plugs? Or a triangle-powered rotary that completely ditches pistons? From Honda's $50,000 motorcycle masterpiece to Toyota's hand-built V12 crafted by master artisans, Japanese engineers have created some absolutely wild power plants that defy logic. Stick around because the Miller cycle engine at number 6 will blow your mind. Number 12. Honda NR-V4, the oval piston revolution. Kicking off our countdown with Honda's NR-V4, quite possibly the most insane engine concept ever put into production. Soichiro Honda absolutely despised two-stroke engines, so between 1979 and 1981, Honda fielded the NR 500 Grand Prix bike with a revolutionary V4 featuring oval pistons. They literally made oval-shaped pistons to cram 8 valves per cylinder into the combustion chamber. When racing failed, Honda created the street NR 750, a V4 with 32 valves total, 8 spark plugs, twin throttle bodies, and an 8-into-4-into-2-into-1-into-2 exhaust system. This screamed of 15,000 RPM. Oval pistons gave Honda V 8 components in a V4 configuration. Only 300 copies were built and sold for $50,000 in 1992. The most expensive Honda motorcycle ever. It never won races, but absolutely proved Honda's engineering superiority. Number 11. Mazda RX-7 Wankel, the triangle that changed everything. Next up is Mazda's legendary Wankel Rotary engine, invented by Felix Wankel, an enthusiastic Nazi supporter. But Mazda acquired the rights and developed it further than anyone. The iconic rotary powered the RX-2 through RX-5, the Cosmo, Repu pickup, and legendary RX-7. Instead of pistons, the Wankel uses a triangle-shaped rotor completing the Otto cycle through intake and exhaust ports. The rotor moves in an oblong path, turning the eccentric shaft. No valves, camshafts, lifters, rockers, or timing chains. Fewer parts mean easier manufacturing and lighter weight. But here's why Mazda is the only company using it extensively. Serious flaws. Even with lots of horsepower, torque output is abysmal. Rotor surfaces are incredibly difficult to seal, and fuel efficiency is terrible. Most companies abandoned this in the 70s, but Mazda stuck with it. Number 10. Toyota 1G ZFE, Japan's crown jewel 512. When Toyota introduced Lexus to America in 1989, Japanese society had already recognized Toyota's luxury capabilities. Back in 1968, Toyota began selling the Century, made for discerning traditional Japanese business class with refinement expected by royalty. It became the only production car from Japan powered by a V12. Despite production since 1968, the Century has only seen 2 complete overhauls. The first generation lasted 30 years before 1997's new generation featured an all-new V12. The 1G ZFE V12 features 48 valves, 4 camshafts, counterweighted crankshaft, and 5 liters displacement. This wasn't developed for high horsepower. It received 12 cylinders purely for smoothness and refinement. Each Century is hand-built by Toyota's best craftsmen with such detail that body-forming tools are custom-fitted to each worker's hands. It's perfection in motion, powered by Japan's most unusual engine, a handcrafted V12. Number 9. Mazda K8-DE, the world's tiniest V6. Mazda has a long history of innovative cars with engaging experiences and stylish designs. Given their Wankel dedication, they're not afraid of unorthodox designs. In the early 90s, Mazda produced one of the smallest V6 engines ever sold. In 1991, Mazda introduced the sporty MX-3 as a small but lively car for younger buyers. As a front-wheel drive car, you'd expect a typical 4-cylinder. Instead, Mazda split the difference and added 2 cylinders. The 1.8-liter K8-DE V6 is unbelievably small, with 130 horsepower output, though equivalent 4 cylinders offered more power. Created primarily for the MX-3, it also powered the Japanese market Yunos 500 as part of Mazda's failed experiment with separate brands. Japan's car taxes increased with displacement, so keeping under 2.0 liters provided domestic savings. No other car received this unusually small V6, and none likely ever will. Number 8. Kawasaki Triple, the legendary Widowmaker. During the 1960s, drastic changes rocked motorcycles as British marques lost dominance to Japanese bikes. Riders abandoned British twins as Japanese bikes grew in displacement. common. Kawasaki initially built a BSA copy with limited sales, so engineers took their great 350cc twin and simply added another cylinder. Kawasaki launched the Mach 3H1 in 1969, a 500cc two-stroke triple leaving followers in blue smoke clouds with ears ringing from angry bee cacophony. For under $1,000, buyers got a lightweight bike clearing quarter miles in 12.96 seconds and hitting 125 miles per hour. Oil injection, CDI ignition, and no valve adjustments made ownership hassle-free. Success led to the 750cc Mach 4H2 in 1972 with 74 horsepower in a featherweight frame. Seriously dangerous. Kawasaki triples earned the Widowmaker nickname. While stories were overblown, two-stroke triple reign ended as four-stroke fours took over. What a wild ride! If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Number 7. Honda Inline 5, the Forgotten 5. Among engine designs, 5 cylinders are absolute rarities. 4, 6, and 8-cylinder engines have dominated for over a century. The first 5-cylinder came in 1974 with Mercedes-Benz's 3.0-liter diesel, followed by Audi's gasoline version and Volvo. Here's fascinating. 5-cylinder engines are only possible with fuel injection. They were never created for carburetors due to uneven fuel delivery and massive intake manifold challenges for odd cylinder numbers. Even Resolve, firing order created engineering problems, making it impractical. But fuel injectors eliminate these problems. This odd duct design works. Millions of cars prove it. What you may not know, a Japanese automaker joined this club in the 1990s. Honda made a 2.5-liter 5-cylinder for the Vigor, sold as Acura Vigor in America. The longitudinally mounted inline 5 still drove front wheels through clever engineering. It disappeared in 1998, remaining the only inline 5 powering Japanese cars. Number 6. Mazda KJZDM, the Miller Cycle Marvel. Mazda bet their unconventional approach could pay off in 1990s luxury markets, as peers successfully launched Acura, Lexus, and Infiniti. Playing catch-up, Mazda planned launching luxury brand Amati. Timing couldn't be worse. Japan's economy tailspin, forcing Mazda to scrap the luxury project entirely. Mazda salvaged the failed project by releasing one Amati model as the Millennia, offering top trim with an engine featuring completely unusual operating cycles. In Millennia S models, buyers could opt for a supercharged 2.3-liter V6. The supercharger was absolutely necessary because this V6 operated on Miller cycle instead of Otto cycle. Miller cycle keeps intake valves open longer, increasing efficiency through complex physics. This necessitates supercharger inclusion, preventing compressed fuel-air mixture from escaping through intake manifolds. Therefore, the supercharger isn't a high-performance accessory, it's a high-efficiency requirement. The Millennia was competent but unexciting, and the clever Miller cycle disappeared when production ended. Number 5. Honda RC211V, the racing V5 revolution. Although Honda's 5-cylinder automobile engine remains obscure, their motorcycle division made one with significant impact. Honda created sensation with 1958 Super Cub, becoming worldwide success. As commuter bike sales skyrocketed, Honda targeted tracks, entering 1959 Isle of Man TT and gaining first win at 1961 Spanish Grand Prix. Developing first-class racing bikes continues being integral to Honda's DNA. While Honda reluctantly used 500cc two-strokes as rules permitted, MotoGP rule changes allowing 4-stroke bikes up to 990cc spurred developing completely new power plants. The new MotoGP bike had highly unusual setup, a V5. With 3 cylinders front, 2 rear, you'd think this would be inherently unbalanced. The opposite is true. Engineers changed 90-degree V-angle to 75.5 degrees and used additional pistons, resolving balancing issues. This resulted in engines more compact than V4s with same displacement while eliminating balance shaft weight. The V5 produced 260 horsepower, pushing Honda to multiple victories and establishing 4-stroke dominance. Number 4. Yamaha 3.0-liter V6, the unlikely American hero. While Yamaha Motor receives praise for excellent dirt bikes, quads, and watercraft, most know little about their automobile work. However, the motorcycle manufacturer occasionally lends expertise to automakers, like when Toyota hired Yamaha, helping develop the legendary 1965 Toyota 2000 GT. Saddled with unstylish, aging cars in early 80s, Ford set out turning things around with completely new sedans. Taking European and Japanese cues, they launched the Taurus in 1985. turning Ford around and becoming absolute sensations. To create the Taurus SHO, Ford collaborated with Yamaha, designing entirely new 3.0-liter DOHC VS6 engines engineered specifically for high-performance applications. Yamaha created new aluminum cylinder heads carrying camshaft pairs controlling 24 valves total, raising redlines to 7,300 RPM and adding 80 horsepower over standard engines. What made this truly unusual? Yamaha not only designed but manufactured it for Ford, transforming boring family Taurus into iconic 220 horsepower sleepers. Number 3. Honda Supercharged V3. The electric future. Although not yet released, Honda's newest engine makes waves for several unusual engineering choices. While details remain limited following EICMA 2024 unveiling, it presents highly clever and unique engine packaging, potentially changing everything. Triples aren't most common motorcycle layouts, but they're far from unusual. However, triples were accustomed to align cylinders in rows, either longitudinally or transversely mounted. This new Honda block sports V3 arrangements with 2 forward cylinders and middle cylinders canted toward rear. This arrangement isn't completely novel. Honda once raced 2-stroke 500cc V3s with 2 cylinders up, 1 down, all forward-facing. Yet this new engine will be worlds apart, most significantly because it looks poised for production. Honda releasing new V3s isn't necessarily groundbreaking, but adding superchargers, specifically electric superchargers, certainly is. Currently, only electrically assisted turbochargers exist in production vehicles. While Honda hasn't released technical specifications, they seem leveraging relatively small displacement with battery power alone for forced induction. Number 2. Suzuki RRG 500. The Square 4 sensation. Like counterparts, Suzuki's success is rooted in reliable machines built with proven technology and traditional layouts. When inline-4 engines are powerful, reliable, and efficient, sticking with them makes sense. Yet in racing, experimenting with unorthodox designs can absolutely pay off. Back in the 70s, Suzuki sought entering Grand Prix racing in 500cc classes, where MV Agusta's powerful 4-stroke triples completely dominated. At the time, Suzuki only made small 2-stroke bikes, making them highly unlikely competitors. Determined making their mark, the Suzuki development team, consisting of just 2 people for engines and 2 for chassis, worked on new 2-strokes, mostly since it was what they knew. The team used engine layouts previously used for smaller engines, upsizing them fitting Grand Prix 500cc classes. This was Square 4 configuration, cylinder pairs up front and rear, joined by gearing on individual crankshafts. It's incredibly bulky design, but without camshafts and valves, it wouldn't suffer from being overweight. The unusual design resulted in multiple championship titles and established 2-stroke viability in competition. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Number 1. Lexus 1 LR-GUE. The perfect V10 symphony. Claiming our number 1 spot is the Lexus LFA's V10, arguably the most perfect production engine ever built. For years, Lexus followed the mantra, the relentless pursuit of perfection, crafting some of the world's most refined and reliable luxury vehicles. But with the LFA, Lexus and Toyota aimed far higher, creating a true supercar to rival the best from Europe. Developed over 10 years, the LFA was a no-compromise project. Chief engineer Tanahashi Haruhiko partnered with Yamaha to develop a naturally aspirated V10 engine unlike anything ever produced. Yamaha told Lexus their traditional conservative approach had to be abandoned to create something truly extraordinary. The result was a 4.8-liter V10 that made peak power at 8,700 RPM with a breathtaking 9,000 RPM redline. But it wasn't just the numbers, it was the sound. Yamaha tuned the intake and exhaust acoustics to deliver a high-pitched wail so iconic, it's often compared to an F1 car, a true masterpiece of Japanese engineering. From Honda's oval piston madness to Lexus's symphonic V10 masterpiece, Japanese engineers have never been afraid to think completely outside the box. These 12 engines prove that sometimes the craziest ideas create the most incredible machines. Which engine absolutely blew your mind the most? Drop a comment below and smash that subscribe button for more automotive content. See you in the next video.